Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. Today we're going to be trying out a overhyped product that may be a hidden gem or it may just be overhyped and it's not that good. I feel like when TikTok gets a hold of products, it's kind of game over for them. They're always sold out, they're overhyped, everyone's talking about them, they become so overly saturated that I sometimes wonder if they're even that good or if it's just everyone is talking about them so everyone wants to get their hands on them. Today I'm going to try out a concealer that I recently picked up that I actually did not even know was huge on TikTok. That product is the Winky Peeper Perfect Concealer. This is what we're going to be trying out today, putting to the test. I'm always down to test out some concealers. I love concealer. I need concealer all over my face, so I'm excited to try this out. So if that is something you are interested in seeing, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, I'm looking pretty busted. I don't know what it is today. I'm just exhausted and I feel like I look very exhausted. So it's probably a good day to try a concealer, honestly. I'm gonna do all products that I know work really well for me. So I'm gonna use a foundation that I know that I love. I'm gonna use blush, bronzer, everything that I know that I love and that works for me, just to kind of eliminate any variables that could be in this experiment. I'm gonna do one side of my face like the way that I've been doing my makeup, which is concealer, then foundation, and then I'm gonna do the other side with foundation and then concealer. I wanna test this out as many ways as possible, see how it wears, see if it's good, see if it's bad, what works, what doesn't. So I got this in the shade light beige, and let me read you what it says on here. It says it's a full coverage formula with hyaluronic acid and collagen, creates a brighter, more awake under eye effect, hydrates and protects delicate skin. So I'm guessing that there's like serums, well, I mean, there's hyaluronic acid in here, but it's interesting because I guess it's a concealer, but it's also meant to do some good for your under eyes, which I feel like more and more concealers are starting to do, more makeup companies are starting to do. It's like not just a product, it's also a skincare product that's gonna help you out, which is interesting. I kind of like that. It says that you're supposed to use your fingers with this. Warm a small amount with fingers, tap onto skin to blend. A little Peeper Perfect goes a long way. So I'm not gonna use, I mean, maybe I will use my fingers. If that's what it wants me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. I always follow directions because sometimes if you don't, you end up hating the product because you're not using it the way it was intended to be used. So I guess I will use my fingers, even though I don't love doing that. But let's go ahead and get started. This is what it looks like. It's just a squeeze bottle. Does it say how much is in here? It's a 10 milliliter. I don't even know if that's a lot. I don't have a other concealer around here to compare to, but it says that you don't need a lot, so I'm guessing that it is technically a lot because you don't need much to cover the bags and circles under your eyes. It's interesting because this says that it's an under eye concealer, so I wonder if it's not supposed to be used down the center of the face to like highlight other parts of the face with. I am curious. I'm gonna use it there anyway, but I am curious as to why it's just called an under eye concealer. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm not gonna prime my face just because I haven't been doing that recently, but I am going to, on this side, apply the concealer onto just bare skin, and then I'll go in and apply some foundation and stuff. So like it said, it says warm a small amount with fingers, so I'm going to apply just a little bit to my finger right here. It's a very, very small amount. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to rub like it says, warm it up, and then I'm going to apply. Oh! Well, it doesn't feel heavy. That's good. It's very reminiscent of the NYX Bear With Me concealer. Very reminiscent. It feels like I have nothing on my eye. I can't tell if that did anything. Yeah, so I can still see the bags under my eye. I wonder if I used enough. Let me see. I'm gonna put more on and see if I can build it or if it's gonna like start to separate. Never forget to bring it into the corner of your eye. That's where it matters the most for concealer and brightening. Okay, so I can build it up, but it's just not... Yeah, I can still see my purple bags, so I'm gonna try and add some more. Maybe I just didn't use enough, even though it said use a small amount. I'm gonna let this actually sit. Like, I'm just gonna let it sit while it's still kind of tacky, because maybe that's another, like, secret trick that you have to do, is kind of let it sit. But for the most part, this ain't really... It's very shiny. Like, this isn't drying down at all, which is concerning. It feels nice underneath my eyes. It doesn't feel like the Tarte Shape Tape that like sucks the absolute life out of my under eyes. Yeah, so I don't like this. Maybe I mean, it is. Do you see how shiny it is? It like isn't mattifying down, and I don't know if that's... it's not full coverage. It says that it's a full coverage under eye concealer. It 100% is not full coverage. It says it creates a brighter, more awake under eye effect. I mean, maybe? It's just making me look shiny. If anything, it's bright because the light's being reflected off my face. Like, it's not a brightening concealer. I don't love it, but I am gonna go ahead and do my foundation now, just because maybe it'll work better on top of foundation. Maybe it's one of those concealers, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna go in with my Dior Backstage foundations. This is in the shade 3N and this is in the shade 0N. I self-tan, so I like to have one for when I'm really tan and one for when I'm really pale. Can mix and create whatever kind of foundation, whatever shade I want throughout the entire lifespan of my tan. So I'm gonna go in with these two on a brush because that's the best way to apply it. Gonna use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And usually I mix these on like a palette, but I'm not gonna do that today because I'm lazy. So I'm just gonna start with the darkest one and then add more of the light one if I have to. But I might be able to get away with just the dark one. Okay, so I'm gonna meet this concealer. I'm not gonna go over it, but I am gonna meet the concealer right here and just see how it works with, I mean, the thing is it's still tacky, so it's gonna blend into the foundation because it's still, like, it hasn't dried down at all, so it's still very, like, blendable. Maybe when I set it, it'll look different. So far, not so good. I'm gonna do my other side, and then I'm gonna put the concealer on top of this foundation on this side. It's not that I don't want this to work for me. Like, I feel like I'm kind of shitting all over it, but I'm just very honest, and I know what I like, and if off the bat I'm not liking it, I don't have very high hopes, but I spent money on it, I want it to work for me, so I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. And maybe when I set it, it'll look good, but like, you see how shiny that is? It's a little concerning. All right, I'm gonna go in on my other side now with the concealer again on top of the foundation. I'm gonna use a bit more this time than I did before, like a lot more, because I want to, like, I want to get this to work. I'm begging that it works for me, and maybe I just didn't use enough. But it's very, like, it's thin, but it's not thin and full coverage like the NYX Bare With Me concealer is. It's like thin and just watery, which makes sense because there's hyaluronic acid in it. I just, like, what the hell is going on? I feel like my bags are, like, so accentuated right now because of how shiny this concealer is. It's definitely creasing. That's because it literally is still wet. This one is still wet. I mean, I did just add more, but it's still freaking wet. I'm gonna go down the center of my face with this. Okay, what the shit was that? Yeah, this is not... I get why they call it an under eye concealer, because this is not... this isn't highlighting anything. All right, so I'm going to... try not to cry. I'm gonna set this really quick because I can't do anything because this is still wet, so I feel like my makeup isn't dry yet and mattified, so I feel like I can't move on to anything else. I'm gonna set with my normal one size setting powder right here, just underneath the eyes with a powder puff, which is what I always use. I'm gonna pack her on. Look at that. The powder clung to the concealer because it was so wet. Like, it looks good now, but that's just because the powder is good, not because the concealer is good. All right, so I'm powdered and I do look very bright, but like, that's about it. Like, I'm not covered. And this also looks incredibly cakey. Yeah, this is looking real bad underneath the eyes. Like, it looks like the desert. Ooh, I don't like the way that looks. I'm going to grab, this is stressing me out. This is trying to stress me out. I'm gonna go grab my Rare Beauty concealer just to highlight the rest of my face, because this is not able to highlight the rest of your face. I mean, it didn't really highlight my eyes either, but I'm gonna go grab the Rare Beauty concealer just to kind of help balance my face out a little bit more. This is in the shade 170W. Yeah, 170W, and I'm just going to... and I'm gonna take a sponge, blend out, yeah. See, that's what a concealer should do. Not whatever the heck that Winky Looks concealer just did. This is why it's so important to not trust TikTok with everything and to go onto different platforms, because I feel like it's very easy for people to fall into like trendy makeup on TikTok. Not that that's bad. I love watching, you know, makeup TikToks, but this has such great reviews on Ulta and like such great reviews on TikTok, and it's horrible. This is a terrible concealer. And like it's being sold out and like, I mean, who is this good for? I guess if you don't have bags and if you don't have dark circles and if you have great skin, so like everything I don't have. But I guess if you have those things, like this could work for you. I don't know. It's really not worth the money. It's $16, which is expensive. Just get the Rare Beauty concealer. Just get this. Or just get the NYX Bear With Me concealer, or get the Lancome Talent Idol concealer. If you really want to try it out, be my guest, but I'm telling you right now, this ain't good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face and kind of come back when I'm done, just to give you guys an update, see if anything is separated, things have changed, and just because I want to kind of do the rest of my face. So I'm gonna go do that now, and then I'll be right back, and we can finish up this little review. So I will see you guys in just a second. Alright, you guys, rest of my makeup is done. I do have some final thoughts on this concealer. My verdict is this concealer is overhyped. It is not a hidden gem. This is kind of a dud. Like I said, I don't really know who this is for. I'm guessing if you don't have any pores or have drier skin or don't have a lot to cover, that is the concealer for you. The more I wear this, the worse it looks, which is not great for me because I have another video that I have to film after this and I'm not redoing my makeup, so I'm just gonna have to suffer through. But it's like separating on my eyes. It looks very cakey. It just isn't a good concealer. And where I put it down the center of my face is like 10 times more oily than it normally is, and it's getting oilier quicker. It ain't pretty. So I do not recommend that concealer. I don't think that it's good. I think it is way overhyped on TikTok. That's why it's so important to check other platforms when it comes to makeup products, because people can just hop on things because it's trending on TikTok, I feel like, whether it's good or bad. This concealer is definitely one of them. It is not good. Not good. Didn't even really cover that much. So those are my final thoughts on this concealer. If you guys want to go check it out for yourself, definitely go and do that. Let me know what you think about it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't like it and I am a hater, but I don't know. Not a big fan. If you guys have not already, make sure that you like the video and that you are subscribed to my channel and that you hit the little bell so that you are always notified when I upload a new video. And I think that is it for today's little review, you guys. Let me know if there's anything you want me to test out. I love doing these spotlight, you know, reviews where I test out one thing and kind of let you guys know what my opinions are. So that is all for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next one.